We're going to study thematization, a phenomenon that has attracted quite some attention. Themed environments are all around us these days. It is interesting to know why this is a phenomenon of our time. Or, as a matter of fact, we're going to ask the question if it is a phenomenon of our time or if it has been around for a long, long time. This is Las Vegas.
This photograph shows Treasure Island, where people can see, every 2 hours during the night, this pirate ship in the photograph fighting a ship from the British Armada. People gather around it. They are of all ages. It is not just children who are there. As a matter of fact, the very large majority are adults, and they have a great time. This is a shot again from Las Vegas, the Strip, which has a particular meaning. This city is built on a strip, rather than on the basis of plazas and avenues and streets that connect these plazas. This strip, it just keeps going. It doesn't arrive anywhere, and all across this strip, you find these places where you can get immersed into different kinds of themes. At one point, you can be in ancient Egypt if you're visiting Luxor Hotel. At another point, you could be immersed in the ancient Roman Empire scenes if you're visiting the Forum at the Caesar's Palace. And this goes on. You can be in Paris, in Venice. This is inside the Venetian Hotel, the San Marco Square. People often become totally engrossed in being here. They are immersed in the moment, feeling the emotions of an aria from the Turandot, for example. This phenomenon of people visiting, enjoying, and appreciating themed environments, recognized by many astute observers of contemporary culture, has resulted in a respectable-sized literature. Examples are studies of this phenomenon by sociologists and others. Several theses have been advanced. Two themes that are common to many of these theses are that 1. Thematization is driven by corporations, and 2. Contemporary consumers are accomplices in the theming of the world. Davis sees theme parks as models of reality that identify issues that need solutions and that also provide corporations with opportunities to have philanthropic answers to world's problems. Gottiner further argues that many old themes are recycled in present-day theme parks in which people find comfort and seek to actualize their consumer selves. Sorkin and colleagues see theme parks as the privatization of public space as well as a regulated and pleasurable substitute for the democratic realm. Ritzer also sees theme parks as centrally created and controlled, as spaces where space, things and people lose any personality, becoming generic followers of scripts. Beardsworth and Bryman introduced the concept of quasification to emphasize that both those who engineer and those who purchase themed spaces are active and knowing accomplices. Finally, Baudrillard presents a postmodern perspective where themed spaces are seen as timeless, that is, without a past, present or future. Places that don't simply simulate reality, they constitute the real as the theme park. Reality becomes the theme park. We visited Epcot Center, a theme park within Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida, especially its World Showcase section featuring several countries of the world, to find out how people felt about themed environments, to see if we could detect a layperson's thesis about thematization. EPCOT, the acronym for Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow, initially was Walt Disney's utopian vision of Tomorrowland. It was to be constructed as a city, a community with a philosophy of people living with the facilities of living spaces, transportation means, commercial infrastructure, cultural amenities and the like that the latest technologies provided, but planned to create peaceful, organized and well-managed, unburdened lives. The idea, which has been documented on film with Disney explaining the vision, did not materialize. Today, instead, there's a theme park where futuristic possibilities are explored in pavilions built by some of the major corporations, and it has the World Showcase section where we focused our interviews, where every night after dark there's a fireworks display.
We went to Innovations this morning before the World Showcase opened. We're probably going to go see the living seas and the land also, because we're not really ecologists, but we do appreciate the oceans and I think that it's time for us to wake up as people and take better care of our planet. I think Disney does a good job of presenting that to us. Disney, a lot of people when they think of Disney World, they think of things for kids, like the Magic Kingdom and stuff like that. But I tell my friends, there's so much here for adults to do, so much to see, different things to experience, like we just seen the Japanese drummers perform. That was spectacular. Gives you a little taste of other cultures. We like that.
So this will be my third time.
Third time. So what made you come here for 3 times?
I like visiting the countries and I like Future World.
Mm-hmm.
And just sharing it with my family.
Mm-hmm.
I always enjoy Epcot.
Oh, you've been here before?
Yes.
What makes you keep coming back?
I have a 5-year-old kid, so I gotta get it all in before he's too old to not enjoy it and he's stuck in school. But I also like coming to Epcot because of the different countries and the beer and the food,
3 times is true.
So,
And maybe about 10 or 15 years ago, we were here a couple times.
so what make you come here for 3
Because
times?
it's Disney World. It's Disney World. It's part of Disney World. It has lots of stuff to see, lots of stuff to do. And they keep changing, so that it's different for me this time than it was 15 years ago. Every day I've been here, I've been thrilled and excited, and everybody's so happy here. It's just a happy place. I mean, just everybody is just so happy to be here. They are so courteous. They are so nice.
We love Epcot. Epcot's really nice. You're seeing all over the world. But there's lots of things for everyone.
I like Morocco. I'm belly dancer. I like Paris or France. It was very good. I thought it was very
It's
good.
very French. And all the people that are there actually are French. And in each of the worlds, they've actually been the actual nationality that they should be, which is really good.
They
I think
seem
that's
to
good.
capture the essence of
Everything.
Paris.
It's a broad representation. Yeah, you get a little bit of the flavor. I mean, you get the taste of food. The people are authentic. The gifts and stuff are authentic. So you actually do get a real taste of the world.
I kind of like in Norway, but Italy is pretty good too. With the shows. Yeah, I just watched 2 shows.
I liked the United Kingdom.
So did it make any desire for you to go and see the United Kingdom?
So, no, not really. I don't want to go to the United Kingdom.
People do not seem discomforted by thematization. Should we be surprised? We don't think so. We have been living in themed environments for possibly most of human history. To explore this, we went to a city in Texas, San Antonio. This is a city that has become a tourist destination due to the historic site of the Alamo, but also because of the fact that the city's heart is built around the San Antonio River Walk. The project for this idea of creating a city center where people would meet, eat and do commerce was started in 1929. In late 1930s, the building of the embankments around the river began. At some point, Disney architects were also asked to advise building plans. By mid-1940s, people were enjoying this part of town, which has now become a major center of tourism, but also where San Antonians come to have lunch or dinner at restaurants, take walks and enjoy the open air, as well as to work. It is where people also live their everyday lives. Bingo! There are many parts of San Antonio that can be considered to be themed areas. We are here in San Antonio, Texas, in Market Square, or Mexico Quarter if you like. Now this is the outside marketplace, and they cook some delicious Mexican food there. Smells great. I'm standing in the River Center Mall. They extended the San Antonio River into the mall to simulate the river walk. Bingo! Many of these parts of San Antonio we have just seen were not created as themed spaces, but as places for people to live in.
Behind me, you see La Villita, an old, small residential area of San Antonio. Today, they are presenting it as a thematized area.
People who visit Epcot Center did not seem to be keen on making a distinction between theme parks and the world outside.
Do you find any differences between the way things are represented in this park and what's out there in the actual world?
No, not really. I think they're pretty good. I think they're pretty good. They do seem very realistic and, same as what let's been. No, very good.
Which part did you like most here? In Epcot Center? Have you been to real Mexico? So, if you compare them, what would you say?
It's the same? Major difference you see is that this is fantasy. The outside world you don't think is fantasy.
That's an interesting question. Now, reality is what you make of it. I mean, to everyone here, this is reality. Each country's, this nice.
Do you see much difference between Epcot Center and the rest of the world?
All the rest of the world. Not particularly, no. No, not really. Not really.
Because they think of this place as a thematized park. A theme park. Yeah.
But it gives a lot of interesting points about the rest of the world. I mean, if people haven't been to the rest of the world, they would certainly find, interesting places or interesting things about the rest of the world, like their culture and their food. It's great.
It's interesting, yes. It's really just like the rest of the world in a way, isn't it?
It is.
I would say so, yeah.
As you go to each place, yes, it's just like it is there. I guess I have never been there, but what I've seen on TV and read in books and everything, it looks like it is.
from different places together, make it like, it's just a miniature of a different, small China. So,
So you liked it there?
yeah.
There is no misrepresentation, you think?
Yeah, the layout is pretty good. We have the kind of thing in China, like a miniature of everything, like representing different countries, and in a huge place. So you can just spend one day to get some idea about, what the other countries are about. Yeah, I think that's good.
We observe many places all around the world that can be perceived as themed spaces. For example, we have had themed restaurants for decades. People don't only eat at these restaurants, but encounter experiences from different times and styles. In effect, all of our humanly constructed environments are themed. Consider New York City, built on the east coast of North America. Isn't that thematic? Built on the basis of our imaginations of how life could be lived, on land and islands where there was nothing but trees, the essence of how it was produced is not different from what we consider theme parks to be today. We have to ask, isn't the Central Park, built on the imagination of what Manhattan Island was like before the city overtook it, along with the city surrounding it, thematic? Consider the city of Phoenix, built in the middle of the Sonoran Desert, now with grassy lawns and water fountains. Isn't that a theme park in a sense?
It seems that, as intellectuals and scholars, we are more dedicated to maintaining a distinction between the thematic and the everyday, between the real and the fantasy. When it seems clear that the distinction is not in the nature of the constructed environment, but in how we, ourselves, approach and constitute the boundaries among spaces we inhabit, we have to ask why we are so insistent in making the distinction. This promises to be a fruitful issue to investigate. When we see things as constructed and thematic, we may feel a greater power to reconstruct them as we can imagine. When we see things as real and out there, we feel resigned to what we have inherited. As we articulate the illusory nature of making distinctions between where we live every day and where we go to have fun, we may find that maintaining the distinction and organizing our lives accordingly is not only limiting our potentials to build more habitable worlds, but that it perpetuates certain interests and the human condition that we can better do without.